Hello, y'all. Welcome to another episode over here at the Dana Lee Project. All right, so we are continuing with what the hell is Mandy going to ask Dana this week? I have no idea. Mandy, lay it on me.
All right. All right. Let's see. My question, and I'm looking it up in the phone because I'm keeping notes of things I want to say. Okay. Okay. This is a good one.
Okay.
All right. So when you are in the mentorship, I'm going to give you a little behind the, what do they call it? Behind the
Curtain,
curtain. Yeah.
your per
Behind the curtain of the mentorship. Okay. One of the first things that we do in the mentorship, our first activity is to do what, Dana?
the first.
Like, oh shit, what was it? I'm gonna say it so I
Well,
don't.
well, one of the first things you got to print out your little booklet and
Okay,
get a
well
binder.
let's very, very first. Okay, so never mind.
Okay,
Let's
well,
skip
there
right
you
off.
go. You got to define. And then you have to fill out your three intentions
You have to fill out your three intentions, which is true. This is correct. Okay,
because it's not
forget it.
about what we want out of the program for you. It's about what you want out of the program for
Yes,
yourself.
yes, yes.
Okay, so you have to
So,
get more
so
specific.
shit, I have to get specific. Okay, so one of the first things, this is how I'll say it. One of the first things that really meant a lot to me after I printed out the workbook and I
Yep.
threw out my first intentions was the straightening up of areas,
Yes,
cleaning
the
up our space,
decluttering.
the decluttering.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yes. Into
so
your first official assignment.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Decluttering, letting go of things so you open up space to let things in. Yes.
Okay, so that's interesting that you just said that because
Hmm.
my sister was telling me that she was having a great time talking to my mom about the cleaning up and the straightening up and all of this. And she said, "Well, okay, so you clean up everything and your house is clean, great, but then like what's the point?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna write that down." So we could
Ooh,
have this
what's the point?
conversation. What the hell's the point? I'm like, you know what? That's my next question for Dana on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
that's a
Dana,
fantastic
what the hell's
question.
the point? Because
The point.
it's clean. Your house is getting clean, and I have an answer for myself.
Hmm.
Also, there's an answer that Dana would say as well. So what would you say, Dana, is the point?
Okay, so if your house is representing your house and you're cleaning up your house, well, what's the point?
Point.
Well, wouldn't the point be you're getting your health in order? Well, your organization of your home, do this little test of like you could take a few things in your bathroom, let's say, your medicine cabinet, and completely like let's throw out the old shit, like cough syrup that's like fucking
From
eight.
2010.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, seriously. Uh,
Makeup that you bought like
for
the
Halloween, two
mascara you had.
Halloweens ago.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
seriously did too. I had Halloween makeup. Why did I hold on to that? I don't know.
Yeah. So all
Yeah.
this like makeup that's like, there's bacteria, and especially like the mascara out and in with the wand, like it's probably not so healthy to put on my eyes.
Mhm.
Like maybe it's time for me to like let some of that stuff go. I don't even use it. So medicine cabinet and maybe like underneath your sink of just reorganizing. Now, do this little test. How do you feel when you open up the medicine cabinet and it is shit piled up, overflowing, makeup stuffed in things piled up, whatever, like you can't even really see, you got to move shit around to be able to see what's behind, versus you're organized and it's clean, and then you open up the cabinet and how do you feel? Everything has a place. So it's very telling if you are attracted and you feel somewhat comfortable in that chaos behind your medicine cabinet, that perhaps that makes a lot of sense as to why you will accept chaos for your health and your body. when you start to raise the standard of how you operate in your environment and everything has a place, it also allows for the ease for you to operate in your life. You know, it's less to have to like, oh my God, I have to clean my house. And it's such a daunting task. It could take you 3 days to clean your house. When you start to like clean your house, when you start to clean your house, the maintenance of that cleaning of the house becomes easier and easier. It frees up bandwidth, it frees up your ability that's not weighing on your mind anymore. Now that's free and clear. And now you can focus on the things that really matter in your life and not this distraction weighing you down of like, oh my God, I have to clean the bathroom and I haven't done that. And meanwhile, that's the voice in the back of your head for 6 fucking months.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have it organized, you may not realize the amount of energy and bandwidth and real estate that has freed up for you to refocus and address the other things in your life, either that you haven't been able to address because you're just putting your head in the sand, or that you really want to be. I hear this all the time from my clients. Dana, I want to be more present for my children and I want to be more present, like do date nights with my husband. But I feel so run ragged and overwhelmed and exhausted. I can't even give my husband attention because so when we start cleaning shit up, it's amazing where you're like, huh, hey babe, you want to go on a date night this weekend? And then you think like, where's that even coming from?
Yeah,
It's
why was
because
it
it's
so
not,
easy when it was so hard before?
yeah,
Yeah.
because there are things that are sorted and organized and things have their place. And the same thing with your body, sorted, organized, things have their place. Like I have my workout routine. I know I get out and I will, when I walk, I feel better about myself. Like just making different decisions about food, understanding why it is we eat. And like, that's much of our program. So that's like, can't cover that in a YouTube video. That's
Yeah.
like, no
Uh-huh.
way. We've got like layers and layers on that.
Yeah.
But to really be able to like do that deeper work so we don't have these distractions of like
Distractions. Distractions.
distractions.
Distractions. The book Mandy's going to write someday.
Yeah. But she's so distracted she can't write
I
a book.
can't. I am so busy. I have to clean the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny because I that exercise of that particular exercise for me was a huge one. It opened up my eyes to something that I had never thought of before. I actually like that was like, I'm hooked. I'm ready. I can't wait to move on to the next module because when I was like, okay, when you said, okay, now like look at the way you feel before the activity of cleaning, during it, and then after it. And for me, I I was originally I had done another exercise with you about cleaning and I realized I was like binging everything and I just didn't want to stop cleaning because I was afraid that if I didn't do it right now while I was motivated that it would never get done. Now that's still a struggle for me, but I know it's a struggle. Where before it didn't occur to me that I have to do this now or else it's never going to get done. And it opened me up when we talked about it, it was like, okay, so what does this mirror in your life? Oh my gosh, I every single thing that I do in excess. When I if I'm dieting, I do it from I buy all the ingredients, I buy all the things that I'm supposed to have, and I write it all down, and I'm gonna do it all perfect, 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 perfect until it's not. And then when I lose that motivation, quote unquote motivation, I drop it and and then I binge my feelings. Or I'll
Yep.
binge, okay, now I'm not dieting anymore. Now I'm gonna clean my house and I'm gonna distract myself from dieting so that I can clean my house. And now I'm gonna distract myself from cleaning my house. I'm gonna diet. And I go back and forth. And then I'm gonna distract myself from like all the things have to be like 100% full, full,
Mhm.
full. And when I realized like, oh my gosh, I binge everything exercise, work. Like if I'm editing this video and I'll actually say, okay, I have to stop doing this and I have to eat. I have to stop
Mhm.
doing this and I have to work out. I have to sleep. I realize that like that's my issue.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people can identify with that, maybe not to the extreme that for me, because I'm an addict, you know? But people can identify with like, I signed up for this workout routine. I signed up for Beachbody. I signed up for Weight Watchers. I signed up for someone to help me organize my house. And I put all my money into it. I was completely ready for it. I dedicated myself to it. And at some point, something happened and I didn't do it anymore. Why? And for me, it was the 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 motor just couldn't kept going because there's other things. For me, I just dedicated everything to one thing. That's not how life works. There's gonna be hiccups. There's gonna be my sister's gonna need me to babysit because she's sick. My mom is gonna need me to take her to the hospital because she hit her foot or something. My mom's cat's gonna die, which actually happened, and she's gonna call me and say, "You gotta come with me. I don't know what to do with my dead cat." Like things are gonna happen, and that Weight Watchers planned day is gonna
Mhm.
fall, and
Yep.
I'm gonna, because all of my fucking eggs were in this one basket, I'm gonna drop it and I'm gonna say I screwed up and it's my fault because I let my life get in the way.
Mhm.
And that all came to me from that freaking exercise
Yeah.
of looking around and going, this is the space that I'm in. This is the space that I accept. That was one of the things that you said too. Like, okay, so you start off before you start cleaning, go, okay, I accept my desk a mess. Why do I accept that? Why am I okay with that? Oh, because, I accept the fact that I identify as a person who's very busy and overworked and oh, I just too busy to clean off my desk or things like that that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. And like there's like so many layers to it, like you said, like into the other modules that like that first step of like, oh my God. And I think you said you got it from a book. What was the book that you had read? Or it was something like probably a combination of a couple of things.
Well, because I've been an entrepreneur for so many years, there was, I've worked with business coaches more than any other type of coach in my life. And what I have learned, I learned it from a business coach. And it actually, with her, so her name is Denise Duffield Thomas, and she put out a program called Money Boot Camp. And she continues to run it to this day, and she has some other programs. I really love Denise. She's super cool. I've been following her for years. She's been very consistent in her message and her branding and all of that. So I really admire her. She's actually one of like, I would say, like a mentor of mine.
Mhm.
And she has an exercise. It's actually beyond the decluttering for her because everything in her program has to do with your relationship to money
Hmm.
and finances and the way that, to be honest, and I do have these conversations one-on-one with clients in the mentorship if they work with me privately. There's a lot of overlapping, there's parallels between your relationship with food and numbers on the scale and the size of your body and money and your bank
Hmm.
account and self-worth. There are a lot of parallels. A lot.
Hmm.
So what she taught me was not so much the decluttering exercise, but a step above that has to do with your tolerance for, let's just, I'm going to take my wallet, for example. Now, if you pull out your wallet, is it tattered? Do you have money just shoved in there? Or like, is it a little bit more organized? Or is it like a Coach wallet? So what she's trying to get at is not not that brand names, because I'm not really that into designer labels. It's just not my thing. I'm not very luxury.
Hmm.
But what she's trying to get at is the tolerance for what you allow as bullshit in your life.
Hmm.
So one layer is the decluttering and letting go of the excess stuff that's like, wow, I'm just like, this is just clogging up my stuff. Like I don't even need this stuff, like letting go of it. Some of it's selling it too, so you can make some money. I mean, we talk about that too. Like you can donate things, you can sell things,
Hmm.
make money back for them. You want to pay for the mentorship? Module 1 can help you pay for the mentorship.
Yeah.
Let's look
Right.
around, see see how much you could
Oh,
shed, you
totally.
could sell.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was such a profound exercise because it allowed me to define what was important for me. There are things that I'm very happy with my Birkenstock sandals. Like I wear the shit out of them. I don't really need tons of other shoes. Like that to me feels like a first class life.
Hmm.
Okay, so she was putting it in perspective of like economy on an airplane, economy, business class, and first class. She was trying to help you tap into how it makes you feel. It doesn't matter how much it costs. That's not what the exercise is. The exercise is what you value and how it makes you feel. Like I drive a Jeep Wrangler. That is my ideal vehicle. I've driven a BMW in the past. I've had Mustangs in the past. This is the vehicle I want. If you have a lineup of cars, this I'm driving what I want. When I step into my Jeep, it is a first class experience for me because it's what I want.
Hmm.
So so that is somewhat what I got the exercise from, but the very basics of that first, because this, let's just be honest. When you join the mentorship, your self-worth is deflated. It's like I can't find myself. There's a lot of identity issues, a lot of trust issues, a lot of insecurities.
Hmm.
So I wanted
Yeah.
to kind of reverse and
When I first joined, I was like, ugh, like I was all about it, but I was also like, is this gonna just be another thing that I regret starting? Because every other fucking thing was
yeah,
something
because
I was
every
like,
other fucking thing
yeah.
that I've done before.
But
But
this
it's
is a
such a
very different one,
it's
so
so different. Like
yeah.
this program's so this is like not even in the same realm of as a diet. Like it's not even,
It's not a
you know,
diet.
it's not a diet. This is like a framework and like and how you can lean into yourself and trust yourself and learn how to operate and empower you. This empowers you.
Yes.
I'm not telling you. I don't tell you anything. It's self-discovery. You've got to figure it out for yourself because that is going to serve you for the rest of your life. And you may have a different feeling of what like your environment and how that feels good to you. Maybe the feeling is the same, right? Like how I feel peace and I love my studio. It's like, and you know, because you've come here. So there's this like
Mm-hmm.
vibe of like, oh, I just
Oh,
feel
it's
like
the best.
it's a second home here. And
It
I wanted that for my training clients. When you come in here and yeah, you come in to work out, but I want you to feel like this is like, Dana's place. It's like coming into Dana's living room, like hanging out, and you just feel like, I could sit down and just cry and not have to explain anything, and just like Dana will
is.
hand me tissues and it will be fine, like
Yeah.
that. Um, so that kind of vibe, you could have different decor and have a different kind of vibe. So everybody's different, but it's not me about saying this is what you need to do. It's more like just observe how you feel looking at that desk with piles of paper. What does that evoke in you?
Hmm.
Are you feeling unsettled? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel like you're procrastinating? Does it constantly remind you about things that you're procrastinating? What I'm more concerned with is you learning, like, I'm put in a constant state of thinking I'm not good enough because I never get enough stuff done. So there's more to this decluttering exercise right
Yeah.
out there. And that's why I have so many women who have breakthroughs just in that alone before we even touch the food subject.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn about yourself that things can start shifting within the first couple weeks of our work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I like cried for like the first 2 weeks because I was like, okay, okay, I get it. Like now I understand. Yeah. Because it was like, and it wasn't, and the cool thing about that exercise is that it is completely different than any other thing I've ever done in any other program, is that it's completely unique to each and every person. Each and every person who does this is like, some people are extremely neat and tidy and have a place for everything. But and when they say when you do that exercise, there's a different feeling about it. Like like what would I say for someone who's super neat and tidy, maybe they're cars are a mess, or maybe their emails are full because they're just so darn busy. And, like,
Yep.
oh no, I have to have everything. And then even then, it's like, well, let's see. If you have to have everything super, super perfect, or there's definitely something. But for most of us, we do
Yeah.
find something. I can't even imagine one person who doesn't say, oh yeah, that made me at least feel like I was holding on to makeup that I had from Halloween's two years ago, or an outfit that
The
I'm
clothes
holding
thing.
on
Yep.
to, that the clothes. I have an outfit that used to fit me 10 years ago, and it's talking to me. It's in the back of the closet, and it keeps on telling me, "You're never gonna fit in me. You're never gonna fit in me." And it's like, throw that bitch out. She's so
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
like things
Yeah.
like that. Even if you're neat and tidy, there's stuff. There's things that
There is, because we just had a client enroll a couple months ago who said, Dana, listen, I'm really organized. I don't know. And then once she got into it, she's like, oh yeah, okay, all right. I see now. Like
hmm
there's a whole not there's just you tune your eye to it because you get so used to your environment and living how you live.
hmm
And this is not like, oh, how you're living is wrong. That's not what
No,
this is. That's
no.
not what this is at all. This is
hmm
insightful, reflective work to help you understand yourself in a different way that's not directly dealing with trying to manipulate food to heal your food issues. How can we go at it to learn about how you operate in the world and what, some of your like just how you beat yourself up and what you say to yourself. How do we get at that in a different way that can help to pull that thread that's going to connect with your behavior around food and your behavior around exercise and taking care of your body?
hmm Because we are freaking complex individuals.
Yes.
Just telling us,
Yes,
oh,
we
you should
are.
eat this, you should eat that, you shouldn't
Yep.
eat this, you shouldn't eat that, isn't gonna do shit for nobody
Yeah.
because we're
That is
complex.
that is not helpful. That
Yeah.
is not helpful at all. And I'm not, if anyone does come to me, and which they haven't in a long time, because I just have a different conversations with women as I talk to them and I tell them like, I help women heal the relationship with food. There's a whole nother like, oh, you do? And then all, different, not Dana, tell me what to eat.
Yeah.
That's not even really what they want.
Yeah.
Because at that stage of a woman's life, when they're really like looking to not no longer put the band-aid over the bullet wound, as I say, that's
hmm
like, okay, I really want to understand the why, and everything else has eluded me. When you're really ready for those answers, you realize just being told what to do is going to be just another diet.
hmm
And that's not what this is. And it's not, nope. No, I won't. I refuse to. I will die on that hill. I am not telling you what to do. I'm not going to
hmm
do it. I will ask you questions. I will, like, be curious. I'm an excellent listener. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah. And
You
that's
are,
the whole point. We need to learn how to take care of ourselves because we are so different.
yeah,
So different. Yeah.
yeah.
So there you
Great
go.
question.
There's our question. What the hell's the point? Oh, there's so
Oh,
much to
oh.
it.
Well, some of it is probably living in that too. So
Yeah.
if she has that question, okay, well, all of that. So what was the point? It's so funny because she's changed her life so much in the last few months of
My
us
sister?
working together. Yeah, your
Maria, I
sister.
know. I know.
So the
Yeah.
fact that she had that question is very interesting to me. Like
Yeah.
she didn't correlate some of the other like domino behaviors, perhaps. I don't know. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but also that then the next level would be understanding, like, do you feel comfortable in space? Okay, so here's another thing I want to share before we wrap up our conversation. If you have a hard time clearing out a space and then find that immediately it piles back up, like you have a nightstand, for example, and you're like, okay, I'm going to clear out my nightstands, and I just have like a couple books and I've got like, whatever you keep, a couple things on the nightstand. And then a week later, now there's
Guilty.
and
Guilty.
yeah,
Super
then
guilty.
there's like the
Yep.
lotion that you're putting on your legs before bed, and then there's like the things start to add up, and then
hmm
you find that a month later, it's like all cluttered again. I would say like there's more of like, well, what is it in you that's not comfortable with a clear space?
Mm-hmm.
Because we also need to figure out how to get comfortable. If you really want to release weight from your body and you feel like the weight I'm at right now, it's wearing on my joints. I don't feel myself, and I know I want to feel better and I want to feel healthier. Not about the aesthetics so much. Maybe that's some of it because of course diet culture dies hard. So there's going to be some of that level of like, I want to look good too. There's nothing wrong with that. But we want it to come from the inside out of other reasons why this excess weight on your body is just not necessary or needed. It's like, I don't need it to feel safe and secure anymore. So if you can sit with your desk, I'm pointing at my desk because my desk is pretty much completely clear. If you can sit with your desk completely clear and that's a comfortable mode of operation, you are more likely to release body fat and keep it off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying there's somewhat of a correlation of that. If you're like, oh, I got to hurry up and put things back in, like, can you handle a different state of being? That's
Mm-hmm.
part of the practice too. Now, do I really go into those details in module one? No, I
No.
don't.
No, no,
No, I
no.
don't. I'm talking about it now.
Yeah.
It's very advanced, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason I put the formula together that I did. You
Mm-hmm.
got to trust. You got
Mm-hmm.
to trust that I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, so then I say, um, it's funny because then there's the next one, like, okay, so yeah, I always put stuff back on my, well, then what? Let's keep on trying. Now you know. Now you know. So let's next time you see it occurring, stop it from occurring. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because I can hear people saying like, okay, so now you figured that out. Like now Mandy knows that, yeah, she keeps putting stuff on her side table after she cleans it off. Then what? Now she knows that. Like, yeah, but now I also know that, which means I can't unknow that, which means that when I look at that and I go, oh shit, Mandy, we're working on this. Let's
Mm.
keep that shit cleaned. Let's
Hmm.
keep that shit clean.
Yeah, you just, and to be honest, isn't that all the word? Like, we have to continually
Yeah.
redirect. We take
Mm-hmm.
our negative thoughts and we're beating ourselves up. Okay, I want to redirect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another example of like, oh, well, if I can work on my nightstand and I can redirect and course
Yeah.
correct, then
Mm-hmm.
you can do that in other areas of your life. That's the power. You take
Yeah.
something really simple. Now, if you are really comfortable with the clutter, then that's okay. I'm not saying that there's like everyone has to have this immaculate home. That's not really what it is. I again want you to understand yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
if that's like that's your home base, that's your standard, that's the way you want to live, then that's the conclusion you've come to. I'm not here to say that that's wrong, bad, or you should change that. I'm just here to poke at helping you make correlations in your behaviors
Yeah.
and why you do the things you do and where your comfort level is. And to me, the reason I don't tolerate it is because I don't want to spend hours cleaning my house. And the easier it is for me to maintain everything has a place, I dust and vacuum fast. It doesn't take a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather take that like 30 seconds to put boom, 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 a couple things away before I leave the house every day. So when I walk back into the house, it feels really good.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels really good. So think about this. I don't really feel like working out today, but oh, when I'm done with my workout, it's going to feel really good. It
Mm-hmm.
helps you set yourself up. Like, I'm going to prepare my food. I don't really feel like preparing my food. However, when I open up that fridge tomorrow and my lunch is there, I'm going to be so fucking happy.
Mm-hmm.
Projecting yourself forward before I go on vacation, doing my best to like organize, clean up, everything's neat. When I come back from vacation, it's like things aren't rotting in the fridge. I get like the garbage has already been pulled. Things like I'm walking into a space that I give a shit about.
Yeah.
I care about my space. I want my space that I live in to be comfortable and warm and welcoming and cozy and beautiful. I want plants. Like Steve and I are like, our plants. We tend to our plants. We don't have animals and we don't have kids. But we have plants. And he just sent me a text and showed me a picture. He got flowers for us to, for we have this like pedestal right outside our front door. And we
Uh-huh.
want to get like a hanging basket like that, sits on the pedestal. Not
Yeah.
hanging, but. So
Yeah.
we keep talking about that, and it's like, oh man, another weekend went by and we forgot to get it. So he sent me a picture. He's like, I got our flowers. So he's gonna pot it up tonight when he gets home for work. And yeah, so like that's we tend to those things, and that makes a home for us.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to figure out what makes a home for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What makes a home?
Home. We both just did it at the same time.
Yes.
We got home for you. Yes.
Awesome. What a great conversation. This is
Beautiful.
so good.
Dana.
You're welcome. So if anyone else has questions that you want funneled through Mandy to ask me, please comment under the video. You can always hit reply on one of my emails that I send, or on Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. That would be awesome. I'd love to answer your questions.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.